Welcome to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we are making the sweetest little Valentine's Day ice cream cake.
Grab a plate, 'cause it's the all-free whole food plant-based cooking show.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's almost Valentine's Day, so I thought I would make you a special Valentine's Day treat that you can make for your loved one, and you'll even have extra for the next day because you're going to want to eat more of this. All right, so we're just going to jump right in with our strawberry ice cream cake, and we're going to make the cake first. So I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. I have 3/4 of a cup of organic rolled oats here that we're just going to lightly grind into flour. It's our first step. I'm just doing this here in my NutriBullet because it's a nice, handy, small tool. All right, so we're just going to add that to the bowl. We're going to set this aside because we're going to use that in a second for our dates. Then we're going to put in our almond flour, and this is 1/3 of a cup of almond flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, and you can use whatever type of cocoa powder you like, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So first we're going to whisk those up a little bit, make sure they're all the clumps are out of there, and then all the cocoa powder is incorporated well. You don't want any little white specks in your chocolate cake. Okay, that's good there. All right, so now we're going to blend our date mixture, the wet ingredients here, in the same container. So I've got 1/2 cup of pitted dates and 1 1/4 cup of soy milk, and this is an unsweetened soy milk. All it is soybeans and water because our sweetness is going to come from the dates. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Then we're just going to blend this up until you don't see any more little pieces of dates. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to stir that into our dry ingredients. There's still a little bit of, teeny bit of date clumps left in there, but that is perfectly fine. Okay. And it is a pretty thick cake batter. Okay, there we go. And what I have here, I have 2 little springform pans. One, of course, is our little heart shape. And this is just an extra, it's a square one. But you could use a cake pan or something else for your extra one. And I've lined them with parchment paper. I just cut some little strips to fit the whole thing. And that's just to make sure that it looks really nice and it comes out of the thing really easily. So now we're going to put our cake batter in. And you only want to fill them about 1/3 of the way through because they're going to rise a little bit, or maybe even, yeah, so it's only going to be like 1/2 inch thick because you want to have space left for the ice cream layer. So you don't want to overdo it with the cake because we're trying to get kind of equal portions of cake to ice cream. That looks pretty good. And the rest I'm just going to put in this guy. Might even be a little bit too much for this one, but this is the extra one. This is the one we want to be really pretty, right? This is the extra one. There we go. So we're only going to do about the same, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch there. Okay, and I have a teeny bit left, but you know, you could eat that with a spoon, which I'm sure Jeff would want to do. Okay, so 350 degrees. I'm going to stick them in, and I'm going to put it on for about 20 minutes, and then I'll check it. Today's show is brought to you in part by Complement. As healthy as it is, did you know there are a handful of missing or hard to get nutrients from a plant-based diet? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why I take Complement Plus every day. Complement Plus contains the 8 critical nutrients in dosages optimized specifically for plant-based eaters. Plus, they're completely transparent about ingredient sourcing and third-party testing, publishing the results directly on their website. As a special discount for our viewers, just use the code WFPB15 at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Okay, so while your cake is in the oven, we are going to make the frosting because it needs to go into the refrigerator to chill while the cake is cooling and then the ice cream cake is freezing. So we have a half a cup of cashews, quarter of a cup of dates, half teaspoon of vanilla, and then a teaspoon of lemon juice. About, okay, and then a quarter of a cup of water. We're back to our NutriBullet here with the small cup. We're just going to blend this up until it's really, really creamy. And then I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I'm just going to scrape it down once and then blend again because we want this to look really nice and smooth and creamy. So we'll go for another little blend here. Okay. Now that's done, nice and creamy. Try to get out as much as we can here. And I have a piping bag all ready to go. And this is completely up to you on how you want to decorate your little cake. But this is how I'm doing it. So then you'll know. Scrape that all down there. All right, so I already have my piping bag and I put in this little star-shaped tip. And an easy way to fill your piping bags without getting super, super messy, especially because it's not a very big amount, is that you fold it over a cup like that. Pull it down so that, you know, the frosting will go down where you want it to go, as far as you want it to go. And then we'll scoop our frosting into there. I think this is a much easier way than trying to hold that loose floppy bag with your hands while you're trying to put this really sticky frosting in there. It ends up just getting all over the place. All right, so there we go. We're just gonna pull the top up, fold it over a little bit, and we're gonna stick it in the fridge until we're ready to use it. Okay guys, so the cakes are out of the oven and I let them cool for a while until they're, you know, like room temperature if you want to come take a look at what they look like when it's done. So now we can move on to our ice cream. Yoo-hoo! And if you want a printable version of the recipe, it'll be in the link in the details below. So we're going to start out with our soy milk, and this is half a cup of unsweetened soy milk or any unsweetened plant milk that you like. 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of strawberries, 1/4 cup of pitted dates, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. That's going to give it just a little bit of a tartness so it's not an overly sweet dessert. This helps balance out some of that sweetness flavor because it's the chocolate cake, then it's the ice cream, and then we're going to have that wonderful frosting on top that we made. All right. So now we're just going to blend this until it's super, super creamy. That is just a beautiful light pink color, and I can smell it. The strawberries are so, oh, they smell so amazing. It's kind of nice right now, you know, it's still cold out, to have something that's a little bit springish, you know, strawberries are kind of springy. All right, so now we're gonna pour this on top of the cakes, and you know, you wanna, this is the pretty one, so you wanna spend a little bit more time making this one look nice. So we're gonna start there, make sure we have what we need in this one first, and you're gonna fill this up to the edge, or you know, the top edge of that cake pan. So I'm gonna stop there, tap it a little bit. Okay, I think I'm gonna put just a little bit more. Tap it around. It's pretty fluid, so it's easy to move around. Make sure your paper still has the nice heart shape to it. All right, and then we're just gonna pour the rest onto this cake. And since this one had a little bit more cake batter, which is perfectly fine, the ratio of cake to ice cream will just be a little bit different. So this one will have more cake and a little less ice cream, which is perfectly fine. Spread that out to the edge. Sure we are in a nice shape. And then I just have a little baking tray, or you can put a plate or whatever. You just want something to set these on that's level. Oops. Oh. To go into your freezer. Unless you have an open freezer shelf, you could just set them right on the open freezer shelves, but I don't have shelves in my freezer. So in they go, and I'm gonna stick them in there for about 2 hours. It might take 3, but until the top is firm. But you don't want it to be frozen solid. You want it just to be firm, so that when you take that cake, the spring form off, that it doesn't collapse like pudding. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share with you some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our new Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting members. By becoming a supporting member, you gain access to great member perks like monthly product giveaways, free downloads of our ebooks, and access to our in-depth courses, including our 28 Days Plant-Based Made Easy course, where we offer a step-by-step guide to making the switch to a fully plant-based diet. We create this show for the hundreds of thousands of viewers just like you who tune in each month from all over the world to make it easy for everyone to live a plant-based lifestyle. So if you love our content, please join us on our mission and become a supporting member today by following the link in the description. Okay, let's get back to the show. Okay guys, they are out of the freezer, so now it's just down to taking the spring forms off. I already took the heart one off. Now I'm gonna pop this one off. Pull it out. And then peel your paper back, just peel it carefully. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. This probably could have, you know, stood to be in the freezer for just a little bit longer to get a little bit more firm, but that's okay. Because this is about the consistency you would want to eat it. So if it's too solid, then you can't cut through it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna frost the top, and then I'm gonna show you how to make one of these cute little flowers to go on the top. They're so adorable, and it's so ridiculously simple, but it really makes it look fancy, right? And Valentine's Day is kind of special, right? All right, so here's our frosting. It's been in the refrigerator the whole time that we've let the cake cool and everything. So then we're just gonna decorate with our star tip. Just like that. I'll finish that in a bit, and I can use some for this guy too. And I'm going to show you how to make the adorable little these strawberries. So you want to cut if you have a really nice strawberry and it has really healthy greens on that, you can leave it on there. But ours, the greens are kind of browned already and they're just not that appealing looking. So I'm going to cut them off. Just very right at the tip. And then when you start, you're going to start on the outside, the bottom outside, and you're just going to go almost straight down, but kind of towards the bottom of the strawberry. And then you're going to fan it out with your knife. You're going to turn your knife out like that. So that's the first petal. So you just go around in a circle, and I usually start with four bottom petals. The petal's a little thick. You know, it just takes a little bit of practice to make them look nicer. Now I'm no pro. I've only done a few of these, but I just thought they were so cute. I just couldn't resist. Then you go to your second row, do the same thing, but you alternate. You go where the flower petal goes down like that, and that's where you make your next petal. Because that's how the flower grows, like that. So adorable. And you just keep going around in a circle, just like that, fanning out your little things, petals. And you got to be careful when you get to the middle ones, because it's kind of easy to, you know, chop off what you need there. Your last petal there. I'm gonna make one more there. So it looks like the little, kind of a little bud in the middle. So look at that. Oops. And then when you put it on there, you can kind of fan the back out like that. But how adorable, right? I love it. All right. So I'm going to take this cake. I'm going to finish this cake, and I will meet you at the table to test this guy. All right, my favorite part. It's the tasting part. Trying to get this out of here. Oh, it's so nice. The texture is perfect. So this cake, you can keep it in an airtight container in the freezer. And then if you want to just take, you know, cut a piece off like this, you can put that right back in the freezer and refreeze it. It'll do fine. The ice cream, it will probably melt and get a little bit too soft for your refrigerator, so it really needs to stay in the freezer. Here we go. Whoa. So much strawberry flavor, even though it's a light pink color. The strawberry flavor comes through so strong. And then you get the soft chocolate cake and a little bit more of the sweetness from the frosting. Be sure to make this for one of your loved ones and have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And I'll see you next week for another great recipe.